But if you go back to what Abrego Garcia's lawyers are saying, just listen to this. It says, I think this is out of the Wall Street Journal. Abrego Garcia's lawyers have urged the public to treat the allegations with suspicion. Quote, they'll stop at nothing at all, even some of the most preposterous charges imaginable, just to avoid admitting they made a mistake, which is what everyone knows happened. Simon Sandoval Moschenberg, one of his lawyers, told reporters Friday, quote, continues, he's not going to be convicted of these crimes, the lawyer added. There's no way a jury is going to see the evidence and agree that this sheet metal worker is the leader of an international MS-13 smuggling conspiracy. So it's just kind of like, wow, they're just completely abusing these bizarre laws in order to detain and deport, and not
admit that they were wrong. Like, that's the big key to me too, is that they're just like, fuck you. Their answer is always never ever apologize. That came out very clearly with the Elon Musk versus Trump little breakup and makeup session that happened over the course of the last week, because it's Musk who apologized. It's Musk who said, I regret, posting those things. It went too far. I'm sorry. And like Trump is just sitting there being like, suck my cock, like that's his response. Trump and his people are never, ever going to apologize. That's like built into their whole ideology, is never apologize, never admit defeat, never admit a mistake, never admit that you regret anything. I mean, to me, the people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Stephen Miller, they're like sort of like the evil reptile end of, I'm not going to get fired by ABC for saying this, but the evil reptile end of the Trump project, because they're so aggressive with that shit. Like, I know Marjorie Taylor Greene is like a troll, but she has power, and she's like part of like the Homeland Security Committee and shit like that. Just yesterday, when all the representatives were screaming at each other over that, Padilla, the senator, Alex Padilla, the California senator who got like kicked out of Kristi Noem's conference and like thrown out with, they arrested him. I think they like put him in handcuffs for a while. He's not being charged with anything, but it was a spectacle. And there were some representatives in Congress who brought this up like during the like live C-SPAN session. And I listened to it and like, Marjorie Taylor Greene is in the background being like, Antifa, you're all Antifa. And it was just like, holy shit. Like, besides just like blood boiling fucking insanity of hearing her say that shit, it's still just like, to me, indicates how just over the top they are in their sort of like cultish attitudes. Fucking insane.
Yeah, I mean, on some level, I don't think they care whether they're right or wrong. And I think that, part of what the subtext analysis has been across the sort of oppositional media the last few months has been that they're just waging a kind of like a fear and bullying campaign, and that for them, just fucking with people is kind of the point. And they're not actually invested in the legibility of these laws, and it's just kind of a lawfare assault. In some ways, it's not just like lizardish and demonic. In some ways, it's kind of it's personal. And I think when you brought up Musk a minute ago, and like during the little weak breakup that you were just describing there. One of the things that was most interesting is that when they were accusing each other of being, corrupt and criminal and all that kind of stuff, they were borrowing all the arguments that are made by the oppositional media to attack each other. And I think that tells you a couple things. One, it's kind of in their head. They're aware of the charges that are being allocated against one another. And when push comes to shove, they're willing to weaponize those very charges, the charges that are being wielded against themselves and their cause. And two, I think that kind of inside knowledge that they're aware of the corruption charges and are kind of acting with impunity around it. I think that also tells us that to the degree that some of this is like personal or confrontational, or that kind of like when you see Stephen Miller, especially when you see the way he talks about these people, it does seem to kind of span the ideological spectrum from someone who's just like a right-wing zealot, but also someone who seems to possess some kind of like personal revenge dimension, like a character from a Shakespearean tragedy.
Yes.
A kind of Iago from Othello. Like there's something about him and some of these guys that's deeply personal. You've mentioned the fact that kind of Musk's right pill thing happened partly in response to the transgender identity of one of his children. You know,
right?
There's this element that they think they're being fucked, and like I hate internet speak, but this idea that like someone's living rent free in their head.
Totally.
I hate memes. However, it's very clear. It's very clear that a lot of the left lives rent free in their head. That a lot of like immigrants and migrants live rent free in Stephen Miller's head. That there's something deeply like personal, and whenever we go down this like Baldwin-esque route, you got to think about like disgust, shame, desire, erotics. Like
totally.
There's something kind of fucked.
There's
up
something
about.
yeah.